Hi guys, welcome back. Right, so in the last video we did the start of the front grille area on the Merc. Got both corners in and started like getting the shape. So today we're going to work on the side cove bits. So what I've done, the technique I'm going to use for this is I'm going to use a template. So we've got this, I've made this shape out of 1/2 mil sheet plastic, just some offcuts. And what I did was it's 10 mil wide, and I cut a long strip of it. And then what I did was I white glued 2 pieces together. Then what I was able to do was shape the corners. Now, with having 2 pieces glued together, once I've separated them, I have 2 pieces that are exactly the same. They're not the same length, but that don't matter. What matters is this rear edge. So what we are going to do, it's kind of going to be a template and loss deal. So I've marked out on the body where I want the templates to be. So it's about, well, it's just here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to I've marked out, so that line there matches up with the front roll pan, okay? And then that will, the top edge, if you see, just fits in nicely in there. Obviously here there's a bit of work to do, but you get the picture. So we're basically going to super glue these templates to the body. All right, going to leave them long because it really doesn't matter. We're going to super glue them, leave that to dry, and then we're going to use our scribe tool like I've shown you in the past, and we're going to carefully scribe around the template until we get through the body. That will take forever because the plastic on the side is really quite thick. So yeah, that's what we're going to do, and I'll come back to you when I've glued them on and show you what I mean. Right, so those are now glued in place where I want them. So what we're going to do is we are going to just scribe round the template carefully, as carefully as we can, and we're going to establish, like we did before on other projects, a nice line that our scriber can go into, like so. And carefully round these corners, because the corners are a little bit tight. I mean, there is other ways of doing it, but this is the way I've kind of figured out that I want to do it. Once we've got the line established, we can maybe go in with a saw and the files into these corners and file it out. Once you've got this line established, you can take the template off. But what we're trying to achieve is a very, very nice established line that's going to be parallel. Okay. This bottom corner here is extremely tight. I'm going to try and get around that on the off camera. Just give us a sec. Might be better with a hobby knife on that one, just to establish the line like this. I mean, this technique might not be the best, to be honest. But it doesn't matter 100% how 100% accurate it is. That knife's a bit rubbish. This blade's a bit thicker, a bit less flexible. What we will do is, once we've got it out, we can clean these cuts up, and then we're going to back the cut with some styrene, back the whole panel, because what we try to create is a recess. Right, so let's do this back leading edge here. And we roughly know where we want to be. Okay, right, so I'm going to take this template off, and what we've got there is a nice established line. So what I'm going to do now is, because it will be really difficult to do this on camera and it's going to take a while, but I'm going to continue scribing this line like so. Little by little. I mean, this plastic's fairly soft, so and we scribed it with the template in place, so it's deep enough so we've got a decent line. And you are going to lose some plastic, so the template was 10mm, but we're going to lose about probably 1/2 mil in scribing material, but I've got a plan for that. All right, I'm going to try and get this removed, and then I'll come back to you. So while I've been doing this, I realised that the corners are going to be a real pain. So what I've decided to do is drill them out here, just a couple of places, and then we can remove that. If we put that in, that's going to be difficult as well. So I'm going to scribe out this portion here. All I've done is used a little bit of a drill in a pin vise, and then we will just deepen that enough here. And it's going to be in a position where we can snap that out. So I'll continue scribing, come back to you. Right then, so, sorry about that. Right, so I've got that fairly loose now. What I did do was I got the in with the scribing tool, and I cut that down deep, and then I have finished the cut off with my trusty razor saw. Now I'm going to try and get that as deep as I can, because we want that. What we want to happen now is we want this to snap out cleanly. We'll cut that there with the snips. There we go. So that will now just snap out like so. So that piece is now snapped out. So what I want to do is round these corners out with a file. So get my tip of files, and I'm going to do it off camera because I I need to be really quite careful with this, and then we're going to clean all of this up. Right, so on a side note, as you can see, you've just got a bit of plastic hanging there, which has left it really quite vulnerable. Okay, that is why we put the bit of brass in. So that has given all of that some strength. Okay, so off camera, I'm just going to go carefully file this corner, so we get a nice round, okay, and a nice sweeping round there. All right. Right guys, so we've got that all nicely cleaned up now. So we've got the corners fairly round, and pretty much the shape's there where we want to do it. So next job is we are going to back that with some plastic. Okay, we're going to position that right behind the opening, and that will, like the front end, create something for our insert to go in. So that needs solidly gluing in place, and we'll do that with super glue. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So if you look on the inside, we can just glue it basically where we want it. What we are going to do though is we are going to glue it forward here, and that will give us material to that'll give us the material to recreate the wheel well, the wheel well shape that we want. And we'll do that after we get the chassis plate made for it, so we can create that shape around the wheel. So I'll get that glued in, and then I'll show you the next step of what we're going to do. Right, so this is now glued in and backed with the sheet plastic. Now the next decision I need to do is, like on the artwork, the line across the fender well was quite straight. Now we can put a little bit of ribbed plastic that fits that, just a rough bit. Now, kind of thinking, what I was originally intending to do was to add a bit of plastic along these edges, and bring it into that front corner. And you know what? I think I might still, but I'm going to have to do it in separate kind of sections and glue this first piece in. Now, I'm not going to be able to do this on camera because it really is faffy. So that's what I think I'm going to go ahead and do now, is I will start with this front bit. Now, I've got a little bit of plastic here. We can most likely kind of tack it in with some of this, the extra thin. And give this a go. Let's give this a go while it's on camera. What we have to do though is wrap it round, because we want it to be solid with the plastic that's on the insert. So let me just tack that in now, like so. And what we can do, what we're going to have to do, is this this stuff is quite vicious, and if you use this on 1/2 mil plastic, when it's under tension, it tends to break for some reason. It's a real kind of pain in the arse thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get a little bit of get a new toothpick, get a little bit of super glue, because what I'm going to have to do is tack it, just drop a bit in that corner there. And then I've got this. I'm going to push that into the corner there, like that. Push it down until that, and hold it until it sets. There we go. And then we'll do the same on this top bit. So we've got super glue set in there, so we'll drop that in there like so. And then get the smaller end of this and push it in. But you want it to go on the edge there. So you push that in there, push that down. And we'll just run a little bead of super glue along this edge here. I mean, what I've done is I've cut the plastic oversize so that it can be, it's easier to handle, and but you want it as straight as you can. I mean, that's fine, that's absolutely fine. And then, now that is glued, we'll put some of this in here, around there, and that will bond it to the it'll bond it to the plastic and all along this edge here. So it says there's a nice bond onto the plastic. As you can see, where I've hit that edge of the plastic there, where it's not bonded to the body, it's cracked. It is really quite vicious stuff. But on that corner there, just drop a little bit of super glue in there, and that'll fill the gap up. Now, what we'll be able to do is file that. So I have cut a few more strips of this plastic. So I will piece that bit in there, like so. We'll actually use super glue along that edge. And we'll piece that in. I mean, we're intentionally leaving it as long as we can. Yeah, it might be a bit of a waste of plastic. However, what you're doing is making it a lot easier on yourself. We'll have a little bit of accelerator here. So that's now well bonded, and we'll get just get our nips and cut that off like so. So that will run a small bead of the Tamiya extra thin across there, because that'll bond that to the plastic there. Chuck a bit of accelerator there, like so. Then what I want to happen, where's that other strip? We'll use this bit here. I want this whole bit to go all across to that front edge. Yep. So it continues that solid line across, and then we can fill the well, we can do whatever we want with the edges, but I want that continuous line that goes across into that front fender. So we'll just squirt out a little bit more super glue. and we can run a bead of it across here, all down this edge. To there. And again, I've talked many times on these videos about using excess material that gives you chance to create shape. So we'll piece that in there like so, over to there, but we want that to touch there. And use that bit to push it in. What we might have to do, because we've pieced it in, that's not gone as well as I expected. Oh, that's got to come out. Pull that out. Right, I'll get that glued in and I'll come back to you. Right then, so this is where we're at now. It looks really bad at this stage. There's glue everywhere, bits of plastic hanging off. What I'm going to do is, that all needs to set up really well. So just going to leave it for half an hour or so. And then I'm going to, while I'm doing that, I'm going to have a big bench clean up. And then once that's set up, as you can see, there's lots of plastic there, because I like to cut the plastic oversize so that I can, I've got enough plastic to hold on to. So yeah, as you can see, the bench is a bit of a mess. So yeah, we're going to leave that to set up just for sort of half an hour, if you will, while I have a clean up. All right, and then I'll sand it down and I'll come back to you. All right. Right, so we've now got all of that sanded to shape. All the excess plastic down, we've kind of rounded the corners, and then I decided I thought I'd do a little bit of a mock-up. I've just added a little bit of plastic into the grill area, and that's just loose in the side. But yeah, kind of that's exactly what I wanted. It's looking the part, apart from we need to extend the headlights. Now, that little bit of plastic here, we're going to extend that all around this front edge. Sorry, that's off camera. We're going to extend that all along the front edge. And because that area, I want it to match the grill. So, yeah, it's getting there. It's kind of following the artwork. And I've still got the other side to do, which I'll do before the next video. And in the next video, we're going to tackle the rear end, and because the rear end needs to match the front. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.